Alright guys, great introduction. Welcome to another beer review, and today we're going back over to London to the Fourpure Brewing Company, and we're looking at one of the Continental collaboration series that they did, which I think was a series of 8 IPAs that they brewed with breweries all over the world. And this is the Nugget Session Pale Ale, which is brewed in collaboration with Two Birds Brewing out of Australia, excuse me. And yes, it's a Session Pale Ale, clocking in at 4.2% in a 500ml can with beautiful artwork on the label, and sort of like the Patrons Project labels, it peels off to reveal some information, which I usually read all of this sort of stuff, but there is actually a lot of writing here. But yeah, so it's actually 6 breweries, 6 continents that they've done this with. And yeah, so I don't know how well you'll be able to see that if you pause the video. But yeah, I'm sure there'll be all this information on their website down below. But yeah, so it tells you a little bit about Fourpure, the project, and of course Two Birds Brewing. But what I will read is this little blurb about the beer itself. So warm summer evenings, well, warm summer morning, it's about 3 o'clock now, just gone in from work. Cold crisp beers and some not so gentle banter about the cricket. I can skip that part. What's not to love about Australia? Our strong connection to Two Birds and their skills in the brewhouse got us really excited about this beer. We've gone for all Aussie hops with Galaxy, Thick Secret, Ella and Australian Cascade, creating a clean, refreshing pale ale. We were going to call this one Sandpaper, but we thought it might be too soon. Guess that's a cricket reference? I don't know. I used to play cricket when I was a kid because my dad is cricket mad. But yeah, it's just a sport that I don't get any joy from watching it, but being able to twat a cricket ball with a bat is so satisfying. But yeah, pick this up from Port Street Beer Temple. Port Street Beer House in Manchester when I was there recently. And I think they actually had the whole series, but this one just stood out to me, even though I'm going to kick myself if there's been like a citrus infused one, because I've still got a can of Easy Peeler and Juice Box upstairs, which I'm looking so forward to doing a head-to-head, because those two beers are just like IPA perfection, in my opinion. Citrus infused IPAs, where can you go wrong? But yeah, so a session IPA, I thought I'd give this one a go. So without any further ado, let's see what we get. I'll open it and pour it in. Okie dokie. There we are. So a nice generous fill in this one. And yeah, so Fourpure I think are really quite an underrated brewery, to be honest, in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, Easy Peel has definitely been a big hit, and well, I say that, you know, that they're underrated. I mean, Juice Box was like uber hype a couple of years ago, and it's such a bloody good beer, as is Easy Peeler, which is available in supermarkets, so if it's available, I'm stocking up on it, do you know what I mean? But yeah, beer in a glass then. And it's got that sort of like cloudy haziness, not that sort of like New England style IPA sort of way. Isn't it funny how we, as reviewers, now start comparing that to like that one style, do you know what I mean? But it might probably, you know, cloud up even more when we pour the rest in. But yeah, as it stands, it looks absolutely fantastic. Lovely cloud of sedimentation in the middle of the glass. Lovely pale sort of golden lemon curd colours. And then 2 fingers worth of a white foamy head. So yeah, it looks absolutely wonderful. Let's see what we get on the nose. Well, first of all, I can smell that cascade in there. A little bit sweeter than what I'm used to with like the American Cascade. Subtle citrusy tones. Loads of berries, like blackberries, cherries, cranberries. It's got like that slight tartness of like a a ripe blueberry as well. But yeah, it's like quite jammy and like steeped sort of berries almost, but still very light. A lovely grapefruit pithiness there as well. And yeah, it smells really night, being up way too long. It smells really nice and reserved and grounded. And yeah, it smells like a 4.2% ABV IPA or pale ale, but with a little bit more character. And yeah, there's like these subtle nuances in there. For me personally, because I'm not too familiar with Australian hops, to be honest. I've had some variants, and yeah, but that Cascade hop is lovely in this beer. I adore that hop, I really, really do. Anyway, this smells wonderful. Let's give it a taste. Cheers. It's crushable as hell. Usually session pale ales for me don't hit the mark. The body doesn't hold the hops, but this does. But it's very citrusy. It's got like big lemon juice sort of flavours to it. And yeah, those berry characters are coming out by the bucket load in this one. A little bit of raspberry, a little bit of blackberry, a little bit of like a sweet cranberry in there as well. Yeah, it's a lovely sweet beer, but then it gets really nice and bitter on the back end. The IBUs on this are 33, and to me it tastes a little bit more than that, to be honest. But yeah, it's lovely and thin on the back end, but at the same time it makes you sort of like salivate as well, so you want to go in for another sip. Quite spicy as well. Not like spicy as in chili spicy, but like a very subtle, a bit more spice than you would expect, like a spicy peppery character in there. Lovely crisp plain biscuit malt characters coming through as well. It's very crisp and clean, but there's like a very subtle like creamy velvetiness in there as well, which really benefits the beer. And that ABV, you know it's that ABV, but it's really nicely put together. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think I paid a little bit more than I should have for this, buying it from a bar, but the price I paid, considering I got it from a bar, I think was a pretty damn good price. Can't remember exactly, but it was a good price. Plus, I was having a few beers in there anyway, so it was just like, yeah, just put it in there. Port Street Beer House, by the way, is a lovely little place, and I am gutted that I won't be able to make the Verdant tap takeover that they're having. But yeah, this is one of those beers where I could just drink this in the garden all day. A little bit of tartness in there as well. It's something a little bit different. There's like really unique qualities to it, which makes it stand out more than like a standard session pale ale. But the hops are rarely carried well with that body, because I find with some session pale ales, you just get that sort of like residual oiliness there. Almost like it gives you the impression that the hops are old that they've used in it. But this has a real nice vibrancy to it. And I shook it up way too much, because look at that cream pie right now. This beer review's gone all Riley Reid. I wish. But anyway, let's not corrupt another video with unnecessary sexual innuendos and comments. But yeah, the beer's not changed too much with all the beer in there. A little bit more citrusy. Yeah, I like that. It's not the most amazing beer that I've had. Far from it, do you know what I mean? This style, I think, you really do have to hit the nail on the head to make it really stand out and make it really pop. But There's no way I would turn that beer down. Would I buy another can of it? Probably. I'd probably buy a couple, dependent on price. But I definitely want to see if I can pick up more from this series, because I think, excuse me, Fourpure are a great little brewery, and I need to try more of their beers. I really, really do, because they've produced two of my favourite IPAs of this year. Even though one is technically not from this year because they brewed it previously, but you know what I mean. And yeah, this is a really good IPA, pale ale, I should say. And I want to see what else I can get from Two Birds Brewing out of Australia. Do I need the cricket? No, not really. Banter would be good. They can keep the heat as well, and some of the animals over there. But yeah, a lovely little collaboration. Something a little bit different. It's got its quirks and unique edges to it that make it stand out from other pale ales, and that Australian hop usage really does show. Even though my palate isn't trained enough to tell you specifically, it's just different. Do you know what I mean? From what I'm used to with like a purely American hopped version. Do you know what I mean? It would taste different because of different territories, the terroir of the, you know, the place where the hops are being grown. But yeah, in terms of a rating, then I'm going to give the Nugget Session Pale Ale a 7.5 out of 10. I'd happily drink that again if it was on tap. Cask, that'd be really nice on cask actually. But anyway, that's it for now, guys. If you've tried this or any of the other beers from the Continental Collaboration series, then let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Are you a fan of either brewery? Give me some Australian breweries that I should check out and that are quite accessible here in the UK. And of course, if any of my friends and fellow beer tubers have reviewed this review, then I'll put their links down below. So thank you for watching. Check out Fourpure, check out Two Birds Brewing, check out Port Street Beer House, check out my Pale Ale playlist, and more importantly, I hope you'll join me next time for another review. So if you excuse me, I need to cool down a little bit. Why the fuck do we have an industrial fan in our house?